Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to TGIF Talks, episode 101. New style today. I'm joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Yeah,
Roll the
I'm
intro.
here.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down to... they're not broken down to parts.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We're abandoning that style to try something new and different. It's kind of...
One whole part.
What?
One whole part.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back to the way things used to be. Way, way back in the day. You know, the Dr. Sheep podcast days. And we're going to see how that goes. So this is Podcast 101. We were supposed to be joined by Will and potentially his girlfriend. But,
That was yesterday.
yes, that was yesterday. But things happened and he couldn't come.
And now he can't go.
I was waiting for that. Yes, something happens and you can't go. So I don't know. We'll have to see, because the next one is the weekend right before. It's the weekend right before the experiment.
Ah,
Yeah. So there's that.
so it may or may not happen again. Oh well.
Yeah. So what'd you do this weekend since we didn't hang out? Okay, excluding Friday night, but we'll talk about Friday night. Did you do anything fun Saturday or Sunday?
Friday? Oh no, not Friday. Saturday I hung out with friends.
I think I've
Um,
asked you before. Do you guys just go to the bars or what do you do?
no, we played board games or watch a movie.
Oh, what movie did you watch?
We didn't watch a movie. We played a board game.
Oh, what board game do you?
I don't recall the name of the board game.
Oh, you don't remember?
No, it's the first time playing it.
Fair enough. I guess it's probably not also the focal point, but
Yeah,
kind
someone
of crap.
because it was first time playing this game. It was a game about just trying to. It was like a board game where you try to build your own zoo, and you get points along the way, and basically whoever gets the most points wins, so to speak. There's no way to determine at what point you win. But I don't want to get into details.
I mean, it sounds like a bunch of those newer board games.
It took like an hour and a half to go through all the rules.
An hour and a half to go. Good God!
Well, maybe an hour. I mean, we're kind of joking around along the way, but yeah, it's no Monopoly. There's a lot of nuances and steps and things.
I mean,
But overall, it was a pretty fun game though.
I
So
mean,
we started the game at 8 because I headed over there at like 6:30, 6 o'clock. And then it was like 7:30, when we got done going over the rules, and we went to go grab a bite to eat. And then when we got back, we started playing. And I think it was like 8 o'clock when we started. And we got done at 1:30 in the morning. So that was 5.5 hours? Ish.
it's a good amount of time.
Yeah. Usually the games we play take a long time. And the games I'd say a shorter game is like 2 hours. And those type of games we play multiple rounds. So it takes about the same length. The longest game we've played. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Twilight Imperium. That is a 12-hour game.
What? 12?
Every bit of yeah. We start that game 10 to 12.
So what's
I think so. So the more people you have, the longer it'll take. So it gets a. We played with 4 people and we played with 6. So the time we played with 6, it was like 12 hours, and we played with just 4 of us, and that was about 10 hours. Just because each person has to make their turn or whatever. We started. Usually, we start that game at like 1, 2 in the afternoon, and if we're lucky, we'll be done by midnight.
See, I wish I had. Well, see, my issue with my friend groups is they're all kind of. Well, my friend group from college, they're scattered. They're to the winds. They've. I think now, as with more of them graduating, their schedules are becoming more consistent. But they're still very busy, scattered to the winds. Doing these weekly, like, board game nights pretty much it's just impossible, it seems like. And, for our group, you've got you and I, Kyle, who is never available. Maybe in freaking 5 years from now he'll be available, it seems.
I predict 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. But
maybe 2.
What about that gap?
Well, because I'll finish up this year, right? And then he'll take a year off.
That's 2.
And then he said he can get his degree in a year, maybe 2. So 3 to 4. He said he can get his English major in a year or 2 because he'll graduate with a minor.
You're going to be
graduate with a minor, and so he thinks he can turn that into a major and be done. Although the thing is, he has not talked to his advisor, so he really has no clue. He says, "Yeah, it'll probably take like a year and a half," but he hasn't talked to his advisor, so he has no clue. How many of those credits he can double dip from his bachelor's. I don't know.
You're going to be 28 years old by the time this schmuck finishes. 28, 29. You're going to be almost 30 by the time that schmuck finishes what he's doing.
Yeah, and he'll be 25. What is he? And he'll be like almost 25. What's your point?
Well, we're so old by that point. It's like all the fun, lots of energy we have right now, gone.
What do you mean? I think I'll still be young and nimble then.
Oh, I've seen the 28-year-old that works at my work. He's not young and nimble. I mean, kind of, but not really.
You're comparing me to one person.
Compare you to all 28-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising. I've worked with a lot of people in their late 20s.
And what about say Usain Bolt, who kept running in the Olympics till he was 40?
Listen, I'm not saying you're gonna be. What's the word I'm looking? I don't even know how to compare to that. I don't even know how you compare somebody running the Olympics as a 40-year-old versus going out and drinking till 2 a.m. every week.
I don't go out and drink till 2 a.m.
Well, okay, board games till 2 a.m. Whatever it is that people do.
Yeah, what's your point?
I just don't see in late 20s. Kyle's like, okay, I'm done with school now. Can we go do things? And we're like, no.
No, he'll have his own friend. He has his own friend group he'll be hanging out with.
What the hell? I have nobody.
Yeah, you really do. He has his own friend group he hangs out with on the weekends. Well, at least when he doesn't work.
When did I suddenly become alone?
Probably the moment you moved out of your only group of friends you have. Because you lived with them. You lived with the only 4 people that you are friends with, and then you moved out. And I think that's the point you became alone.
It wasn't my fault. I was forced.
No, I'm just saying. That's the moment you became alone.
Yeah, begin to realize that because Rooster's going to move to Iowa here soon. Not this year, but next year. Rhonda's going to be gone for 2 years in North Dakota. So then AK... I don't hang out with him that much anyways, but he'll be around for 2 years. He was somebody I hung out with the least, so, and then as for the other parts of the friend group, they're just busy, and there's no other guy.
Yeah, Outback went to Minnesota, right?
Yeah, Outback went back home. He was in town this week, But like, I called him Saturday, thinking like I didn't know he was in town. I called him, and I'm like, oh, too bad you're not in Lincoln today. You know, we're doing stuff with Thermite. He's like, well, funny thing, I am. And I'm like, what? But like, he was like, I can't come do the Thermite until 2. And I'm like, I'm going to be done by 2. And I was done literally right at 2. And, so I was like, well, whatever. I'm like, I don't work next weekend, so I don't have a half day where we could go do it during the week. Again, further
You did today.
We'll get to that. We'll get to what happened today. I feel like when I'm talking about, you know, had a unexpected half today, it feels like I got fired. But no. As far as I'm aware, I'm going back to work tomorrow. Well, like, I called my dad. I'm like, I got sent home early, and I'm like, I'm not fired. Here's what happened.
I don't think.
To everyone else in the world, it sounds like I got fired. I did not get fired. I just get future things.
Your boss is just tired of dealing with your. I don't want to say that word. Can we allow that word?
What word? Oh, no. I know what word
Why?
you're thinking of. No.
Oh, you know exactly what word I wanted to say. It'd be perfect.
Oh, yes, but no. Well, anyways.
Alright, she was tired of dealing with your reign of caca.
What the What? A reign of what?
Yes.
Excuse me? Oh my god. Well, anyway.
I think that's perfect.
Well, I texted him today and
I'm
he's
going
like...
to use that instead.
Well, anyways, I texted Outback today since I have my half day, and I'm like, hey, you want to do the...
You get fired, bro?
You want to do the copper oxide thermite? Because I got the copper oxide in the mail. And he was like, well, it has to be tonight. And I'm like, well, I got the podcast at 6:30, so it's not... It didn't work again. So I'm not going to see him this entire trip that he's out and about.
Wait, he said he works?
No, he's just... So what happened Saturday was he was out with... I don't know what he was doing today. But Saturday, he was out and about with Rooster and his girlfriend. He works for the Humane Society, and so he had to go feed horses and dogs and cats, I guess, or something like that.
Mm.
And he wanted to go see. But I'm kind of upset he didn't tell me that he was in town. But, you know, here's what it is. Anyways, so, no,
So the whole, coming back full circle, you have no friends.
Yeah, so apparently, and I'm not really friends with anybody at work, so I don't know how this happened. I mean, now we do, and we've discussed it, but I don't know how to remedy that.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really have another friend group outside of my high school friends, high school/college friends.
I mean, you have us. You have me.
Yeah, but you're just like family.
You wouldn't trust me
You're
if
like a first friend.
had what?
You're like a forced friend.
Forced? Listen here, bud.
Yeah.
Had we met like Outback, I guarantee you we'd be friends.
Maybe.
Maybe. You realize how much crap we have in common?
I have my doubts.
Oh, your doubts.
Well,
here's the thing, though. You know, we only argue because the reason why we argue the way we do is because we've known each other for freaking 2 decades at this point, and that's just the way we've been since. I'm 22 years old. You're gonna be 25 here in a month or so. So.
Well.
It's been a long time.
Time.
And then there's your brother, who we've only known for 21 years, and it's been a wonderful...
And counting.
Huh?
And counting.
And counting. It's been a interesting 21 years. And then there's Will, who I've known for 16. You've known for like...
2.
What? No. When did we... did we, when I was in high school, senior year, did we hang out with him at all? Or is it only until...
No, I think you joked about him, about your indentured servant, but I mean, I don't think I met him until I don't know.
When did he start
Freshman
helping out with videos? Because, like, so, like, okay, so...
Yeah, until he started doing that, and I didn't know him before that.
So,
Because
okay,
that was the only reason why I would have met him.
yeah, so I'm trying to think, because I know it wasn't... So that summer of senior year, we did not... You didn't. I know we didn't meet him, because we stopped doing videos in June. Because I got my concussion. And
You said you'd known him for 16 years?
I've known him since he was conceived.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Well, county fair.
Oh. Well, I wonder if I've ever met him at county fair. I just never
because-
thought anything of it.
No, you
What?
went to county... I think you were at county fair once with me.
No, I was there a couple years.
I remember... I don't even really remember. I
Well,
remember...
because grandma used to take me every summer.
Mm.
And I remember every summer, you know, we always stop by her camper and say hi. And I remember we went over to that sand pit to play.
Mm.
Or I take my little Tonka toys over and to that dirt patch inside the barn, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and you know, push around dirt.
So I'm,
Essentially,
yeah, it was dirt and
that's basically all we did: push around dirt and yes.
well, I'm trying to... I don't know, because he was born in 07 or 06. 05, 06, somewhere in there. I'd have to do the actual math. I don't want to do the actual math.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in there. I don't know. I think that was a... I don't know if he would have just been like some random kid, like some little baby there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm kind of curious. You know, like if you wind back the clock, you know, it's like, yo, that whiner over there, I'm eventually gonna have to be friends with him.
Who would have ever guessed the child sitting over there throwing crap, or the child that got lost in the cornfield? Who would you ever guess that you would have gone to the movies with them? You would have had to fend yourself off from him biting you, and that you would ridicule and have 2-hour-long conversations with on podcasts for the whole internet to see. No one would have ever guessed that in 2005, 2006,
Nope.
2007.
Well, freaking 2006, 2007, I didn't even know of YouTube.
Yeah, neither did I. I don't think I did. I didn't find out about YouTube.
I still remember the first YouTube video I ever looked up was in 7th grade, and it was the Gummy Bear song.
What year was that?
That was the first video I ever looked up on YouTube.
Wait, what year was that?
I don't know, when was 7th grade?
Oh, so I would have been... So if you were in 7th grade...
Oh, wait, here. So 2013, so 2012 I was a freshman, which means 2011 I was in 8th grade, or 2010. 2010.
I found out about YouTube. So I watched my first YouTube video before you did.
Very well possible. Well, I mean, yeah, because the video was shown in class.
Yeah,
And
so
then,
because...
and then I was like, and then I looked it up, but see, I didn't start really watching YouTube until my senior year, because see, that when I first watched YouTube, that Gummy Bear song or whatever, you know, it would buffer. Like I could not watch that video all the way through. I had to watch it in short clips because that's just how slow the internet was.
I remember.
And so
those days.
it'd be in bits and pieces. And I was like, eh. I mean, I thought it was kind of cool, I guess, in the stupid mind of a seventh grader, it's funny or whatever. But then you don't want to sit around waiting 5 minutes to watch a 1 minute video,
Right.
And so you quickly
Now you do with
click
ads.
that, and so I remember that was seventh grade, and I think I might have looked up a few songs that I heard. It's like, oh, what's that? I want to hear that. Like you hear clips of a song on the radio, and you want to hear the rest of it or something. I think I might have done that, here and there throughout high school and maybe 8th grade. But it wasn't until my senior year, specifically second semester, when I got an iPhone, that I think that was when I first started watching YouTube.
So
Just because I don't even remember how I looked it up one day. Like it might have just been like someone's like, hey, you have to go watch this video, and then after you watch that video, you have this recommendation tab, and it's like, oh, I want to see this video. I want to see this video. It was the moment that they had the recommendation tab that absolutely destroyed me. It's like, oh, this looks interesting. I want to see this,
Okay. So
And the next thing you know, we're 2 hours down the rabbit hole, like, damn, I gotta get up for the day.
oh my god, 2007. So I'm trying to remember. My first YouTube video I ever watched. So you watched that. So I would have been in 5th
Seventh
grade.
grade.
I absolutely beat you, because the first time I ever watched YouTube, the water bottle was over my place, and I'm pretty sure it was either 3rd or 4th grade. I can't remember. And we watched. We watched the Gummy Bear song, and this came out in October of 2007.
The Gummy Bear song?
Yeah.
It could have.
Well, no. The video came out, and I'm watching it right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying I watched it in 2010.
Yeah, I watched it before 2010. So, but we watched. Yeah. It must have been out for a year then, or something, or hell, we might have watched it like a week after it came out, because it was Columbus Day. Well, anyways, point is, we watched it. We watched Elmo's Got a Gun.
No.
Huh?
The name, that title.
It's a fantastic title.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I couldn't really watch YouTube, because internet was so slow.
So it was 2008.
And so, wait, did you ever have a problem with internet access and videos, or did you just, suffer through it?
So it might have been 2008, 2009. Well, it had to been.
Sure.
Well, anyways, so yes, we have. So, the first videos we watched, I don't remember having issues. I just remember laughing my freaking butt off at Elmo's Got a Gun.
Yeah.
And it fantastic. Or Elmo shoots Barney. I remember laughing. But it was in 6th grade. It's when I first really started watching YouTube. And I watched the Magic School Bus. I watched basically like everything on YouTube. Magic School Bus. And
yeah. But you were able to watch it, without much buffering, or you just don't remember.
So I remember sometimes you could watch it, other times you couldn't. And what I had to do was hit pause, go do something for like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Go do something, wait for it to load.
Come back and then watch it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I mean, you can still see it today on YouTube, but that gray bar
Actually,
You know,
it doesn't render much for. So the interesting thing about that is it doesn't. So like gray bars, they don't. It doesn't go any further anymore. It doesn't like because like back then you could watch
Well,
it.
yeah, it goes back the same. It goes back the same speed as the video. But like back in the day, I would always wait for that gray bar to reach the end of the video because even if it reached halfway and I started to play, it would catch up.
Yep, I remember that. I
It would
remember.
catch up. You literally had to wait for the gray bar to finish the video before you clicked play, or you would not be watching that video all the way through.
So yeah, I think.
And that basically was like internet. I don't know if it was mostly internet, but another part was our computer was fairly slow. Like I remember we got a computer I think in second grade. I remember I was typing a report in third grade, and the computer literally just froze, and I never saved. I had like I was third grade, so I was a fairly slow typer. I had like a full page, and the third grade, me that took hours. And I had like a full page and a half, and the computer just shut down.
No.
Lost everything. Lost everything. Now, thankfully, I think I had wrote everything because I wanted to plan. I think my parents were like, plan it all out, and then go type it up. And so, I just had to retype it. But it's not like I lost any. It's not like I lost any of my ideas. It's just that I was a slow typer, I spent an hour or two on that,
It's so crazy thinking about the computer thing because here's the thing, right? We had a computer before you did then.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
I remember.
Well, we had. Well, no. I shouldn't say that. So we had my dad had a laptop through the school, but we did not. That was not the family computer. I mean, like I think I used it once in like first grade or something because I had to look something up for some assignment or whatever. But that was like once. We didn't get a family computer until I was like a second or third grader.
When did he get? Did he have his laptop then? But the entire time that you can remember.
Yeah, as far as I can remember. Well, because they always gave teachers computers.
Really?
That's how they entered assignments and grades. Well, actually, no, they used to have paper. Everything used to be done on pen and paper. But then I think they had to submit that on the computer. I don't remember. Honestly, I'd have to ask him.
Yeah.
But I do remember him actually writing grades on pen and paper. And he'd have a whole semester, like he'd have a whole chart.
Oh.
Everything was pen and paper. Yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Everything was pen and paper.
That's when being a math teacher would suck because you hand out assignments every damn day. English teacher, not that big of a deal. Math teacher, that'd be such a pain in the butt because you enter in, you'd have to do it every damn day.
And the worst.
That's an incentive not to give out homework.
I don't remember. I think he used pencil because if you write a number wrong. And you try to correct that, and you can't read it. Yeah,
you're screwed.
So I'm pretty sure you used pencil.
That's
you could just
whack,
erase the mistake. I don't remember.
I remember us always having a computer because I remember getting. Maybe I remember getting it for the first time, vaguely, possibly. Because I remember we got it and they got me games. And we got Putt Putt Travels Through Time and some wizard game.
Oh, we had some Putt Putt golf game.
No, it wasn't Putt Putt Golf. It was a car.
Oh.
And he had a bunch
Oh, yeah, and then I'd always play solitaire and then pinball.
Oh, yes, my brother showed me pinball. But my parents wouldn't.
No, it was where the computer games were downloaded. And then... I think Mom got us a few computer games along the way. We had some Garfield game, and then Backyard Baseball. That was a lot of fun. I logged a lot of hours on that. Backyard Baseball 2005, I think is what it was.
Well, see,
and in fact, I got that for Christmas one year.
See, I didn't use the computer that much. We had it, but I didn't use it. But I remember...
Pretty sure it was 2005. So I was 8 years old.
Oh my god. So Putt Putt was his car, and he had a bunch of items. He was gonna go show to his friend Doc, or whatever.
Oh, so we might have just got the computer then.
Huh?
I'm thinking. So if I remember right, well, maybe it's 2007. I can't remember exactly what year. It might have been 2007. I'm trying to remember what year Backyard Baseball, because I have the year printed on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, yeah, what a time. Everything had freaking water.
Yeah, they had the year printed on it. It was. I remember it was in 3D too. Well, I guess the graphics were in 3D. It was kind of cool.
Well, they were all those kid games were kind of the same, because Backyard Baseball and Putt Putt were kind of the
2007?
same. No, but back to this. So here's the whole premise of the game, and I didn't beat it until I was like freaking 12.
I think it's this one.
Huh?
I can't. What year did this come out?
Backyard Baseball?
Keep talking. No. Keep talking.
Well, anyways, so basically you had a bunch of items.
2005.
Every time I talk.
Sorry. I found it.
Okay. What year?
2005.
Oh, there you go. Well, anyways, so you start off with a bunch of items, and you go to visit your friend Doc or whatever. You're a talking car and you have a dog. Okay, and there were two possibilities of how the game could play out, and one of them you could beat, and I was able to beat it when I was young. But there was another one that there was a part of the levels that didn't work, but it mysteriously started working, like many years later when I tried to play it. Well, anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, you go and you try to show Doc your stuff, but Doc's building a time machine. And well, the time machine sucks all your stuff in, your dog, your lunchbox, all these things. And so basically, your whole thing is to then go get it. So you drive into the vortex, and you could go to the future, medieval times. You could go. There was an old Western one. And then there was the future, the medieval times, the Western, and dinosaurs. I want to say there was more, but I only remember those four. And there was the future one was. Anyways, and so you'd basically solve puzzles, right? So you'd go through these levels, and there were mini games to play, but you'd go there and you'd be like, "Oh, I need this rock. I sought to fill in this gap so that I could go get this item that I knew was on the other side. Oh, I know where to go get this same shaped rock." And you'd go back to the time machine and go to a different spot. And you could ride on the back of a train, and you go out to literally the middle of the freaking desert. And this level always scared me because you could conceivably kind of get lost out in the desert because you could just drop. So you drive, and you could just keep taking paths, And if you gotta remember what path to take. I don't think there weren't that many. The options didn't keep going, so you couldn't get lost too difficult. But as a little kid, it felt like you got lost out there. But it was what a game! What a game! That game was fun. Yeah, and it was fun to solve, and then to beat it. That was always fun because then the time machine would get fixed. And anyways, no, but yeah, the computers back in the day. Yeah, I remember. Wow, God, I would have been like 3 or 4 when we first got it.
Yep.
And I don't know if they had a computer before then. I can't remember before then. I'd have to ask my brother. But I would assume that's the only reason why we had a computer was because my brother needed it for school. I would assume. I just remember. Oh, it would have been 2004, 2003. Yep, 2004, 2003. Because I remember in 3rd grade, I needed to work on a project. And I need Microsoft Office Word. And we had Word 2003.
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft Office Word. Like, what? 2003? What? And the school had, 2007 or whatever. Or, yeah, 2007. And so, they just didn't. they didn't match up. They just didn't match up. They just didn't have features, and you're like, well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Remember getting my
I
first.
always remembered. I never liked going on the computer late at night because see the computer was in the basement.
Oh, your
You know-
basement was the worst at night.
And it was always, and see, the thing is, it was always so, I was a kid, it was always so creepy being down there. There's cobwebs and, bugs crawling around. It was just kind of creepy being down there, after the sun went down to finish up a paper. And, yeah, I did not like it. I would always, wake up early, to write it during, before school or something. Anything to avoid having to write it in the dark.
So, what's crazy is, I slept in your basement by myself before the Nevada trip. And as a kid, I could have never have done something like that.
No.
No,
Yeah,
I couldn't even be down there in the dark. It freaked me out.
I always hated whenever I had a homework assignment that I had to do on the computer. Well, I mean, even in college, or not college, in high school.
Yeah.
Because even in high school, when I had to, go down there for like hours at a time, because it would get cold after a while. My hands would get cold.
Yeah.
Because it's just so cool down there, and my hands would get cold. It's like, man, I don't like being down there. I had to take breaks or whatever,
I remember seeing my first dual monitor. I was over at my friend Fro's house, and he had a dual
Oh yeah,
monitor.
that was like the coolest thing ever.
It was a dual CRT.
Really.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was these two CRTs next to each other. And, like, he would drag the cursor through it, and it would just boop, pop out the other side, and I'm like, what? I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It was awesome. I was just like, whoa.
What's crazy is our first computer was not a CRT. It was pretty thin.
Well, mine was a CRT. Our first monitor was a CRT.
Yeah.
It had burn-in. It had the desktop.
Our first TV was a CRT.
So
remember that big brown TV?
yeah, we had a big brown TV too. Yeah. And then it eventually died, and we got a big. Remember the big gray one we had?
Yeah.
That thing was awesome though. That thing was an excellent TV. My dad got it for
See, the
$5.
thing with our TV, what happened is everything turned green.
Really? No,
And
this
then I
one.
remember, the TV would turn green, but every time it'd vibrate, it would go back to color. So I remember, my brother and I would be watching like SpongeBob or whatever, it's just TV. Oh, damn it, the TV went green. We get up off the couch, start jumping on the friend, like, what the hell are you doing? I'm trying to get the TV turned back to the color.
Oh my
Because the
god.
audio would keep playing, but the TV would stay green. And the worst part about it is that we actually had a VCR recorder, so we could record shows.
Yeah.
And-
Your mom would give me tapes and stuff.
And so I remember we used to record like Scooby Doo or something.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I want to see this. And the worst part about it is that whatever the TV showed, that's what it record. So if let's say if you're watching Dish, the show keeps playing in the background, but if the TV turned green, the VCR would record that green screen.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I don't know how that works.
Well, like
actually.
if you
I'm sure
turn
there's
the
some sort of
TV off,
pass-through.
and if you turn the TV off, it would record black. So it basically it would record the screen. It would not record the show. It recorded the screen.
That's whack. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure my brother set that up for you guys. Actually,
The
no.
VCR recorder.
Actually, no. I bet your dad did. No, but I bet my brother set it
I mean,
up
it
for
was pretty
us.
self-explanatory. You just plug in a cable or two, and then pop the thing in.
Can you imagine?
I don't think we could erase though.
Well, you can write
don't
over
thi-
things.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but I don't think we ever did.
Well, there was so I remember one of the discs. It had the start of the Scooby-Doo Aliens one. And it was like a decade later that they finally watched the whole thing. And the whole thing just goes off the rails. Like, it was always the startup, which is the best part of the movie. Because it's this awesome build-up. And then it goes off the rails. But it always cut before that. And so I never knew how the movie would go. But I'd always just watch the beginning. And it always...
I really hope DVDs don't go, I know it'll probably happen, but the day DVDs go ancient, we'll lose access to our movie.
Well, one day, I do plan, someday I do plan to get a burner, and that will allow us to save the sword films.
Because I remember what I did was I saved it as a DVD format. But I wasn't even thinking, at the time. And because I used to actually have a .mov file, which is still a thing, and I have converted, because I think I remember I had some old projects I converted from MOV to MP4, to a flash drive. That way I could watch them on the Windows computer. And I remember I had a flash drive, like a 16 gigabyte flash drive with all the movies.
No, I thought you still do. We just can't use them because we have no way of accessing MOV.
No, I don't have those. I don't have those files anymore. Well, those are the clips, the sword clips.
Yeah.
Those are not files. For the movie. Those are like episodes that we tried to film.
Yeah.
The actual movie, though, that I used to have those files, and then I deleted it when I put everything on the DVD because I was like, oh, the DVD is compressed everything into an I didn't realize it was an iDVD format, which I cannot, revert back to with the MOV. But I used to have those, and I was like, oh, this is just a compressed version. I can save this. Nope.
Yeah. But, I mean, we have the scripts.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but, yeah, we do need to get a burner, then we can recover those, but...
I mean, as long as DVD players are a thing, we're good.
Dude, Blu-ray DVD
players as long as Blu-ray players that accept DVDs are a thing.
They're not going anywhere. I think Blu-rays and DVDs are going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
At least another decade or two. At least a decade. I think right now it's still just broadband isn't everywhere. And until broadband gets everywhere, there will always be DVDs and Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Which is the new Xbox, they thought about not putting a Blu-ray player in it, and the Xbox has the PS5, the Xbox has it. The PS5 has a version without a Blu-ray player in it. Because their whole thing was just download it. But they only give you half a terabyte, and it's like, what? I'll never understand where PlayStation was like, that's the whole thing about the PlayStation, about computers, is that storage is the most expensive part. It really, especially when we nickel and dime these gaming consoles. When you nickel and dime them down, the most expensive part is storage. It's ridiculous, especially if you want SSDs currently. And so they put a half a terabyte, maybe a terabyte in there, but that's like a third of the freaking cost of the machine. And
is it really?
Yeah, it's like a third.
So your computer that you built, what percentage is your storage?
Oh, it's nothing.
Cost.
It's $200. I have maybe $200 of storage in this thing.
What was the most expensive thing? The motherboard, the graphics card?
Either the GPU or the CPU. I'm pretty sure it was the GPU. And the GPU would have been way more, but I got it on a good deal.
Oh.
Because at the time, They
Bitcoin
just
mining.
announced the 3000 series graphics cards. So 2000, this is before the pandemic. So 2000 series graphics cards became super
Yep.
cheap. And so I got a
Let's
used
see.
2080 Ti, which is like top of the used, but it, works great. It was a used 2080 Ti. It was in great condition for $500. The month later, I could have sold the thing for like over $1,000. Like 2 months later, I could have sold the thing for over $1,000
Really?
because everybody sold all their 20 series cards to buy the 30 series, but then COVID happened, scalpers happened, supply chain issues happened, and so then you couldn't get 30 series cards. You can now, but inflation's everything's still expensive, but
Yeah.
you couldn't get them. And so then your 20 series cards became valuable because you couldn't get those either. You couldn't get anything. And so my 20 series card, I honest to God, I probably should have sold it, just accepted the fact that I wouldn't. If I had like some junk.
Yeah, what you do is you sell it, and then, because you still had a laptop.
But yeah, no. What I should if I had a junker GPU like a 1060 or something, that I could have.
Did you have a junker?
I did not have a clunker GPU, but I had a clunker GPU, I would have thrown that into the machine, sold the graphics card, and then I could have a freaking 3080 Ti for like a fraction of the price because I would have had, extra $1,000 kicking around with 2080. But it took 2 years for the prices to come back down. So like, no, I'm glad I've got what I've got.
Yeah.
Not that, but also I don't even know if a 3080 would even fit in here. Second, my power supply probably couldn't handle it. And that makes me nervous because I was kind of maybe the 4000 I'll be able to get it because, they'll be more efficient or whatever. No, they're supposed to be even more power hungry. And I'm like, great, just wonderful. Thank you, NVIDIA.
You're going to attach like a little bike so you can like power your own computer.
Well, anyways, good God, I had other things to talk about, and now we're 40 minutes in. But see, that's the beauty of the new podcast. We could keep talking about these computer things forever, and that was good. That was solid conversation. That was good. I just want a few other things I want to say. Then we'll end the podcast. We're making these shorter. I know some people like the long ones, but some people like the short.